Hello! As always, I'm getting my thing pulled up so I can check my audio. There we go. Hello, everybody! How's it going? Did everybody get settled back into work? Uh, yeah. It's been a couple of weeks here. Oh wait, got something. Okay, so first things first, I want to remind everybody to go grab your free Fab Marketplace assets for the month. They include this month a Pirate Stilt Village Island Modular Pack, which is one of those ones it's kind of, when you hear me talk about stuff packs, like that's what it is. And it's a really big one, and it would normally be very expensive, but it's free this month, so you should go pick it up. Okay. What am I? So, it's kind of a couple of things with Ghost Hunter Simulator that's happening right now. The first of which is, we're kind of, so we submitted we put together a pitch and submitted it to a group that might be willing to give us money. And part of the cool thing about the game that we're building is if we don't ever get money, it's fine. We'll just kind of ship the game as it is, come October, and, it'll be early access, and then we can, update it and add to it as we go along. But then, the cool thing about early access is it allows you to kind of get real-time feedback, right? So it makes it really easy for you to tell, like, how players are reacting. Oh, yeah, we should import that. So that's kind of our plan if we don't get money. But we would like to get money. The kind of core there is that my husband has been working on this while he's been unemployed. But unemployment only lasts so long, and so it's kind of one of those things of like, well, if we want to maintain our quality of life, like, we have to have money incoming somehow. There is also kind of that extra, like, side of, if we get enough money, we can actually hire people to come in and do work. And the cool thing about being really experienced game developers is we know a lot of people who would be totally jazzed to come in and do the work for us. And, the game industry is a rolling dumpster fire right now, so several of these people are actually unemployed, right? So if we got money, we would be able to hire people who currently do not have jobs to help us work on this game. The other aspect there, too, is that if we were able to get enough money, we could hire someone to, like, make assets for us, so we wouldn't be using asset packs, which is kind of like right now in the indie kind of scene and everything is kind of like a negative if you're using asset packs, which is silly, right? Not everyone's an artist. But it is that perception by the wide audience. So part of that is, we submitted that pitch. We haven't heard back anything. That's fine. It's totally normal. But my husband and I are both plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E kind of people, right? And so part of what we're doing is we're prepping a pitch for a totally different kind of group of people. They're not game developers, they don't normally invest in games, like that kind of thing, but we feel they might be very interested in what we're doing. And so as a result, we're kind of, when you think about, you start working on a game and you work through tasks until the game is complete, the order of the tasks usually kind of reveals itself. Like, there's a logical order to how you do things, right? So you tend to kind of get game systems in place and build levels and then kind of put meta progression in, but that you really can't do meta progression until you've got a couple of levels so you can kind of feel how it works. And so there's kind of things, the idea of like not putting the cart before the horse, right? So you've got to do things in kind of certain orders. But as is true in, my day job, right? Like it was true working on WoW, it was true working on Skylanders. There will be points along the process of developing a game where you have a deadline, or you have a demo, or you have like a green light build or something that you have to get together, and that usually means there's kind of some reprioritization that happens, which sometimes means doing things kind of out of order or not completing something, and instead like being like, okay, this can wait. Like this isn't a priority at the moment. We're going to jump to do something else because it's needed for the green light build or whatever. So I know, I've been working on both the Mystery Shack and that new theater level that I was working on, but due to the kind of demo presentation that we want to do for this other group, we kind of need an actual real like legit kind of spooky location that would have been a part of this content that was being created. So as a result, today I'm going to start building the Lizzie Borden House. So if you are somehow unfamiliar with the Lizzie Borden story, it's pretty much, one of these really famous murder mystery kind of things that happened, that this woman, Lizzie Borden, supposedly murdered her mother and father and like hacked them up with a hatchet, right? And then she was put on trial. She was not convicted. And it was kind of one of those things where everyone just like assumed that she did it and she just managed to get away with it. So this is the Lizzie Borden House. If you don't know anything about this, I actually highly recommend going on to Disney Plus or Hulu and looking for the BuzzFeed Unsolved Lizzie Borden episode. It's actually really good. And it gives you a really nice overview without getting too into the weeds on it. But the really cool thing about this is because it was such a sensational event at the time, right? There was a trial, and it was like, it was like O.J. Simpson, but in that era. And because of that, we have trial documents, we have floor plans, we have like photographs of the scene, like when it happened. And so I thought it'd be really cool to build Lizzie Borden's house, partially because, I've always found this story very interesting. I 100% think she did it. Totally think she did it. And I kind of, this is going to sound really, like, kind of evil, but I applaud her ability to get away with it, is really what I'm talking about. But because of this, like, there's really great floor plans, there's really great information about everything that was in the house, and this also allows us to, so one of the things you'll hear me often talk about is use cases, right? And so it's this idea that when you're building a game, not every mechanic is going to be in every level. If you have quests, not every type of quest is going to be in every type of space. You pacing, ebb and flow, you want to spread things out, not have things be too repetitive or redundant. And as a result, you will sometimes get pretty far along in game development before you run into, oh, we actually need a quest that does this totally different thing that we didn't realize we were going to need. And so one of the things that I, as a designer, try and do in my job is, as I'm adding content, right? So as I'm building new levels, I will try to make sure I'm pushing at the boundaries of what the systems can do, right? Because I want to find those edges. I want to find like, oh, escort quests are great unless they do these things, right? FedEx quests are great unless they do these things, right? So finding the edges of how the system feels and how it works is really valuable, especially as we move forward. Working on new systems and adding new things to the game. Sorry, I feel like I have a cat hair on my nose. But so Lizzie Borden's house is actually one of those really interesting locations because we have so much information, right? A lot of these haunted locations are, urban legends. Like, you're hearing kind of piece together theories, like that kind of thing. Like, there's not a lot of firm information. Lizzie Borden's house, firm information. We know everything, right? Like, we know where the people were murdered, we know how, like, all that kind of stuff. And so what that does, by building this level, it lets us find the edges of that system and how it feels to play through a level where all the information is kind of known and it's all very firm instead of like fluffy and flaky and squidgy. I like squidgy. That's one of my words. I did also want to test this thing really quick, so please bear with me in chat. Ooh, that did not do it right. Does it do it here? There we go. Okay. That was weird though, whenever I wasn't clicked into chat, it didn't do it properly. Maybe, let me see if I do. Oh, it doesn't do it unless I click into chat. Okay, well, if you are a smart person, when it comes to stream decks, and you know how to make it where even if I don't have the chat focused, it will send it to the chat, let me know, because that's what I'm trying to do. So one of the other things that comes up a lot, and people, every time, it's so funny, people will bring it up. We'll talk to people about Ghost Hunter Simulator, and they'll go, well, what if I don't believe in ghosts, right? Like, that's that's always, they always think they're gonna catch us, right? Obviously we didn't think about that. First off, I would caution you from ever having that moment of talking to a game developer and saying, well, what about this thing, or what about this? Game developers' jobs is pretty much to think about all of these edge cases, and so we usually have thought about it, right? It used to always drive me nuts working on WoW, and people would say, well, why don't they just do blah? And they would like say something, and I'm like, dude, there's like 300 people on the WoW team, and 250 of them are geniuses, right? and they've thought about it. They've considered it, and for some reason they have decided not to do it, right? There's probably a good reason for it, or there's a priority somewhere that something took priority or whatever. But so it's always really funny when people are like, well, what if I don't believe in ghosts? And it's like, okay, that's fine. That's valid. And so I wanted to have my little FAQ button of like, if someone comes into chat and is like, well, what if I don't believe in ghosts? Cool. We made a game for you too. Trust me. So this is Lizzie Borden's house. It's actually super cool because like this is literally from the trial, right? Like, so we're able to like see like the documentation they made at the time. I super love this one. This is my favorite because they have things that are marked in green, which means they know that item is there. It's like perfect mapping. And so it's really cool. It's really neat. It gives you a really good idea of what the spaces were and what the flow around the area was. So this will also be a really good example. I've talked about this a bunch before, but I just want to reiterate it. This will be a really good example of, you can't just build to measurements. So we actually have the measurements for all of these rooms. Like, I could build them exact to what they are in real life. The problem is it would not feel right when playing it in the game. So, we do know like where everything is, and so again, level design is all very vibes based, and so we're gonna go in and we're gonna build this. It's going to be accurate, it's going to be correct, but it is going to be vibes based. So you'll kind of see that as I go through it. I'm really excited about this. So like, one of my favorite things is like it's got the marks where it denotes doors or things that are always locked, right? So they wouldn't have been access points into the house, which is really interesting. Okay. Yeah, and so see, it's this nice little. It's got two main floors. It's got a little attic space. It has a basement. Um, See, there's the basement with the wood rooms. So, like, this was before central air and heat, right? So they would have had like space to store all of their wood for the winter, or their coal and that kind of thing. Um, oh, neat. Police said they searched 3 or 4 trunks here. Oh, this is so cool. I love having the like actual trial stuff. Oh man, it's got the transcripts. Oh, that's so fun. Andrew Borden was murdered in his home in Fall River. Lizzie Borden at once told Bridget, the maid, that their father had been killed. A search up of the home led to the discovery of the body of Lizzie's stepmother in an upstairs bedroom. Uh, yeah. Gosh, that's so funny. In 1892. Yeah. So funny. Yeah, it's really funny too, because like her story has so many holes in it. Okay, I'm gonna move that off screen. We're gonna open our content browser. Oh, there you are. And we're gonna make a new level. Okay, new folder. Borden House. Rename Borden House. Boop. So I'm just following the process. We have template levels, so I copy those first, then I move them to their correct folder. Um, you know, um, Rename them, and then we'll have to do a little bit of setup inside. Um, so this is the blockout one, so we're gonna go Borden House underscore blockout. And then Borden House underscore lighting. Borden House underscore placed assets. Okay. Okay. Alright, so then we're going to open our level for the first time. It's going to be a mess. This is what our template levels look like. But you'll notice as soon as I get it loaded, these are still pointing to the old templates. So we're actually going to select these three and remove them. Then we are going to go here and we're going to add existing. And this brings up this thing, which then we're just going to go in here and select these three and say open, and everything's back. Do note, when you load in a sublevel for the first time, and I'm going to tell you this like every time I do it because it catches people all the time. That little green dot there means that it's not actually loading. So if I were to right click and play, or to hit the play and editor button up here, none of our sublevel stuff would be there because right now they are currently set to only load if they're blueprint. So you got to switch them to always loaded. And you definitely want to do that for your lighting because otherwise it will just be black. Okay, alright, so this is going to be Borden House, and let's go ahead and save all. I want to go here. Okay, so what I did there is I pretty much just checked to make sure they were being added to Perforce. I have on occasion worked on stuff for a couple of weeks and then realized, oh, I never added it to Perforce, so I've been checking it into nothing. I didn't lose anything, it was all saved on my computer, but that means that it's not in Perforce, which means if something horrifying happened to my computer, like my hard drive just suddenly failed and decided to die, I would lose all that work. Perforce is like saving it somewhere else so that we don't lose work. Okay. So, Lizzie Borden House. Okay, so one of the cool things, not World of Warcraft, thank you. Okay, one of the cool things about this this whole thing is that we have we have the lot plan here, right? So like we even know what it's going to look like from the outside, where all the entries are and that kind of thing. So I'm actually going to build the lot. I'm going to build the lot, but I just realized, I was like, I'm going to build the lot first. And then I realized that's actually a bad idea. Here's why. Because if I build the lot, I will build it to scale for the exterior. And then it might be that situation where the interior doesn't work properly, right? It's not big enough, not wide enough, or whatever. So I should actually rough out the first floor and then build the lot. So let's do that. Okay, can I make this picture any bigger? Nope. Okay. All right. So we're probably not going to use this commercial door, but ooh. But it'll do for the moment. I want the player start to be outside. Delete this plant. Alright, let me grab all of the tools and just huck them way out here. I will not need a ghost anytime soon. Ghost. Doug. I like that the ghost is named Doug because we played a D&D game where my husband is a necromancer, and he kept making these ghost or these skeleton buddies, and we called them all Doug. They were all Doug. And that was just funny for me, and I thought that was really amusing and hilarious. And so now so when we decorate for Halloween and we have skeletons, we actually name them all Doug. And we it's just kind of an inside joke in our family. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and move this out. There's just a lot of stuff here we don't really need yet. We don't really need in our way, right? So we're gonna be building stuff here. Skylight. So we're just gonna get them out of our way. So I don't accidentally click on them or anything. Okay, and then this terrain. So if I switch it to lit, yeah. It was copied from one of the ones we were already working on, and I don't want it to be like that. So I'm going to flatten brush size 1,000. Ooh, how about 5,000? Nope, too big. Maybe it was 1,000 and it just didn't hit enter. Yeah, it was 1,000. Alright, so we're just gonna fix this hole in the ground. Okay. We will have to do terrain shenanigans when we get there because they do have a basement. So we're gonna have to build the basement. But we're not there yet. Okay. Alright, so save all. Check and make sure nobody's talking to me. And then we want to go to block out. Okay. Alright, so first thing first. There's a piano. You know, you hear me say it all the time. Scale is so important. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the floor plan here. Boop. And then I'm looking for items that we have that do the thing for the scale, right? So we're looking for static meshes. We got a piano. Let's see. So we have a parlor, so there's couches. There's a dining room table. Sofa. Okay. Let's find a table that looks like it would have been in Lizzie Borden's house. So the other cool thing about it is, though, is one of the Decagon packs we have is the Victorian one. So we have a lot of these like Victorian type assets that will make it very easy for us to do this. Let me go back up here. Though, because we're looking for a big square table. That's a coffee table. Probably not gonna do it. Let's see. Oh, that one's probably gonna be it. Right? It's probably not this one. think I want to go to Victorian, turn this off, and just grab several of these pieces because we know we're going to need them. Bookshelf, cabinet. Boy. Not only is that scale way off for everything, it just doesn't look good. You will also notice I'm not grabbing the nanite versions of things, and that's just because we nanite's really not our game. Our game doesn't need it, right? If you think about uh, you don't use a stick of dynamite to kill a fly, right? That's kind of what it is. There's a desk. There's a bigger desk. Yeah, it's fine. Dresser. Wall sconce. Nice, nice. And I'm pretty sure this whole set was pretty much made for building Lizzie Borden's house. It's so funny. So I'm just kind of dragging out things that look like they might be useful. They may not be useful, like so some of this may end up being deleted or whatever, but at least for the moment, it's nice to have them so we can see if they're going to be useful or not. I am going to check out this staircase. Ugh, it's nanite. Because it would be really cool if this staircase just worked for us. I don't think it will, but it would be cool if it did. Probably need the stove. Ah, we've reached the bottom of the thing and it's... Okay, so then the washstand, I have to put one together, but I'm going to because we're going to use it. Oop. Boop. Alright. Okay. Let me look at the attic. I just happen to know that the attic has a lot of good stuff in it too. Okay. I mean, I think a lot of what we've got here we can work with. Ancient treasures, maybe. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna put that back over the side. And then I want to find a good wood texture for the floor. There was somebody on Blue Sky the other day who said something about, oh yeah, you guys should just be using this texture type, because then it'll fix all of these issues that you're having. And I was just kind of like, oh, because he was right. It was absolutely one of those things. But I will have to go and research it and figure it out. Let me see. Alright, let's go with one. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what how big I can make a piece of the floor and still have the texture look okay on it. So actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do duplicate. And then I'm going to open up the texture. Yeah, there's supposed to be something over here that I can change that changes the scaling, but I don't see it on this one. Yeah, let's just use that one. This is pretty good without having to mess with it. Let's bring this down to 5 and 5. Yeah, so see, that looks pretty good. Okay. And then we're going to put it at 0, 0, 0. Because why not? Get some of our stuff out of the way. Not the landscape. Boop. Okay. Alright, So, actually delete that door, because that is not the door we're going to want to use. I have a whole pack of doors somewhere. Doors. I think it's gonna be this one. Alright, so I also want to grab the wall here. Let's go ahead and make this 4 by 4. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to this. Make a second one. But then the first one, we're going to scale down to that. And to make this easier on ourselves, we're going to move this door to match our... Ooh, that's real thick. Let's go 0.1. I'm also going to group these two things together. Cool. Cool. Alright. Let's go back and make you 0.1. Oh, boy, that's weird. Okay, but it's lined up properly now. Alright. Cool. Okay, so on the first floor, where did I put my reference? There it is. Alright, so the main entryway, we have a coat rack here. But the piano is right inside the parlor. boy, there's a staircase leading up immediately. Let's grab you. Alright, and then Korak. I know I pulled one of those out. There it is. And, ooh. Alright, then we have the piano. Alright. Okay. Alright. Alt dragging, rotating this around just 90 degrees. I will say one of my favorite things about these super old houses is they're real small. Real tight corners, real tight hallways. Everything's real close to each other. It's nice. Okay.
Is my frantic clicking like bananas distracting?
Well, I haven't heard it, but there's also nobody in the stream, so.
I sent Damon a link, but I think he's cooking chili.
Alright. So now we can start working on the parlor. So I feel like this is going to be our first room that really gets us the feeling of the size of the space. Alright, then we have a couch, end tables, several chairs, a coffee table. This doorway is actually about here. Then we have a couch. Couch. Couch, couch, couch. I want to use this one. Let's go to Victorian. Volume 2 meshes. Low poly. Yeah, that's kind of a different type of table than I'm looking for. I wonder if I can make this smaller. Okay. It's not perfect, but it'll do for the moment. Okay, so this couch, though, let's see. Let's go ahead and spin one of these around. Alright, and then gonna duplicate another one out. Okay. Alright, so if we look at this from top down, put this in the corner, back up against the wall, scoot it over so it's not clipping with the table. Okay. So what we're looking at here is this room, but if you imagine, we've tilted it. So table, couch, table, and then there's a little bit of space, like just kind of enough for that door to be able to open. So we've actually got a little bit more space here than they would have had. So I think I'm going to, as small as this feels, I'm going to move forward a little bit with it. Okay, so then along this wall, we have one of these weird half tables. A little bit further down. We are going to have a coffee table. So let's go back to our neat. There's a Victorian bench. Looks very nice. Pull that out. I could have swore I saw a coffee table in here. Let's go. We want one of those round ones. The rounded, well, oval ones with little rounded edges. Something less gaudy than that. Oh, not that one. This one? Alright. Beep. Boy. Alright, and then it looks like there's some chairs on the other side of the room, so let's go ahead and grab these three. Because we've got, whoops, one here, slightly turned. We've got one here, kind of in the corner, and then we've got one here. Alright. I'm gonna scoot you there. Alright. Got a doorway. This is up against this wall, though. Alright. Scale this back. Alright. I just had a thought. There we are. This one shows where the windows are. Cool. Okay, so we've got two windows on this wall. And we've got one on this wall. Actually, it looks like the window on this wall is like right aligned with this. Okay, let me see if I have any good windows. Any good Lizzie Borden windows? Go here. looking for 2x2s, not 3x3s. 2x2s. Those are broken. Alright, let's see, where'd my 2x2s go? Where was this one? Modular house. And then let's just go here and look for wood. Right? Good enough. Okay. Trying to make sure it's centered on the wall. And then feels kind of small, right? Whoops. Not you. Oop. Like, look at those windows. Those are pretty tall windows. So let's grab it and go. Nope. 1, 2, 2. You notice though, if I go over 1.25 though, it starts to look real weird and janky. And that's why you've always got to be careful when you start scaling things. Always check your placement on your scales. Alright, so we want to scoot the window over, but that's too far. Okay. Good enough. Alright. Alright, so then what I also want to do though is I want to go and grab this. since we know there's 2 on the front side of the house. There's probably about a window's distance between them. Let's go back to top. Here we go. Alright. In the interest of alignment, though, I'm gonna move those over. Boop. Cool. Boy, we are so off scale already. Or I guess sizing. We're actually pretty good on scale. Feels kind of nice. But I'm gonna show you in a second why we're gonna have to change some things. So, okay, so let's sable. And let's go ahead and. Oh wait, we gotta build. Actually, here, I'll show you what happens if you don't build first. Oh, you didn't follow me through the floor. Okay, well. Doesn't matter because I can't get through there. Ooh, look at that. That's a lot of mess. Alright, so play from here. So you'll notice, like, oh, we're actually standing on the coffee table now. As I say, you'll notice, like, it feels real claustrophobic. It feels real small. It feels like you're bumping into everything. Bull in a china shop. You should also change this. So most objects will have things on them that, you know, character can step up on. Nope. So if we go back, now it won't let me climb up on it. I can jump onto it, but it won't roll me up onto it without me intentionally jumping onto it. But you'll notice, like, it feels real claustrophobic. It's real small. It's kind of hard to move around. You know, you're bumping into stuff the whole time. The scale is actually pretty good. It actually feels kind of like I would expect this house to feel like, as far as size-wise. Because, like, if you look at pictures, Um, so like, whoops. If we just Google search, right, and like we're looking at the parlor, oh, that's a different spot. We're looking for the one with the piano in it. Okay, here we are. Oh, the piano's on the other side of the room now. But so you look at it, like it is very cluttered. It's very claustrophobic. There's a lot of stuff in the house kind of filling it. And that's, I mean, that's pretty normal for older homes. Like it's really common to have lots of stuff in there. But as a game, like playing a game, look at that. Look at how nice that looks. Playing a game, you want to be able to move around, you want to be able to interact with things, and you don't want stuff in the way preventing the player from being able to get to a thing they want to click on or interact with. So I am actually going to give us a little more space in this room. Not much, just a little bit. Grab this, and this, and this. Maybe I shouldn't. Let's do this instead. Let's build this where we kind of want the player to stay in the middle of the rooms. Okay, but I need to build, so notice I don't have any wall above or below the windows, and that doesn't work at all. So we're gonna have to build that. Oh gosh, let's go ahead and turn this back on to get it at least close. See, if I had an artist, I would have my artist build me a window that fit on my scale, so I didn't have to do this kind of weird janky scaling on it. Okay. Alright. Go back to my top perspective. Okay. Haha. Nice. Nice. Okay. And then I'm going to dupe one up here. Go. Look at it from the side view just to make sure it's, oh gosh, gonna fit. And we're gonna scale it up to match the Ta-da! Okay. I think it has just a little tiny bit. Nope, it's good. Okay. Alright. So then we can grab this, and copy them around to our other windows. Cool. Alright. I want to go to haunted objects. Haunted objects. Doors. Wait, it's on the wrong side because the hinges are on the wall side. Ooh, my foot's falling asleep. My foot's asleep and it hurts. Okay. This is also, I mean, you've heard me talk about it, but I've mentioned, like the scale of things not always working. Um, because it's all about the space it's in. So you can have the scale of something be right for Newburger Mansion, and it doesn't work on this one because doors aren't always the same size and that kind of thing. All right. Boop. Let's put that at least on the close number. All right. This is the old one. By going ahead and replacing these with the haunted object doors, what that lets us do is be able to use them as doors so we can open and close them. Boy. Let's go ahead and Whoops. Really tall thing. Oh, okay. My foot falling asleep. Alright. Top. Let's go ahead and turn this back on for a moment. How is this one a different size? Okay. Okay. And then we want to. But we also want to scooch this guy so it's back properly in the frame. Ta-da! Look at that. Lovely, lovely. Okay, let me go back to haunted objects. Lights. It's like we can see, look, it's even the same lamps. I'm gonna save this image. Okay. So an interesting thing that would be possible in a game that isn't possible in real life and is kind of cool. You know, I talk a lot about like what video games can do that you can't do in real life. And one of those things is uh, we could literally have the two versions of the house. So like we build out the house and we make a copy. We can switch out all the stuff in the interior. So you have the version that's like it was when Lizzie lived there, right? It's the crime scene, right? Blood puddle and everything. But then you can also have the version that's what it looks like now, right? So it's got the pictures on the wall of the murder scenes and everything like that. Like, so it's this really cool thing that you can do in a video game that you can't do in real life, which is neat. It's neat. It's one of my favorite things about video games. Okay, so all right. Gosh, it sure did just kind of come together real quick, didn't it? I think I want to give this couch a little more. Okay. And then I want another table. Actually, let me go here. Because that sure is that table, isn't it? I mean, this one's a little too fancy. A little too fancy. It sure does look like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if it can fit. I tend to find items do better when you scale them in similar measures, right? So if you think about it, you're kind of scaling them evenly. Um, okay, just delete those, copy these. I want to grab just the table, copy it over. Boy, that chair is hideous looking, isn't it? Oh my gosh, one of the reasons why Lizzie supposedly killed her father and stepmother was because uh they were stingy, they were thrifty, right? They didn't want to spend their money. But then her father bought her stepsister a house. Didn't buy Lizzie or her sister a house. Bought her stepsister a house. And she was real pissy about it. And I was just like, I mean, that seems kind of fair, right? I'd be pissy about it. I say that, I am pissy about it. That is a thing that happened in my family. My stepsister got a house bought for her. She didn't even have to pay for it. Alright. Let's see how that looks now. Ooh, that's all real close. We don't want that close. Let's bring those out. Bring this out. Okay, cool. Alright. So now I do want to go ahead and grab a wall. Oh, I should have turned my snapping back on. I think we have been clipping our corners. If you see there, we've been clipping the corners into each other. There's good reasons for doing it both ways. The only real thing I will say is that you should pick one and do that, and uh, not do both. I totally want to see if this stairway is gonna work. Although, we saw some in the stairway here. Here we go. Look, they've got a dress mannequin with their thing on it, but there's the stairway going up. It's a nice. I think this is a different stairway. Is there two stairways? There are two stairways. So this is that back stairway going up. And this is the front one. Alright. So this was where Andrew's body was, and this is that chimney, so that's where that fireplace is gonna be. Okay. What? It's not quite against the wall, but it's pretty close. Alright, let's put a tiny little one over here. That's not gonna be big enough for a doorway, but it is a legit doorway. It's not just a... Yeah, it is a legit doorway. Fortunately, they've marked all the doorways that are actual doors. Okay, alright. Actually, though, if we look at this one, yeah, these are on the same plane. They're on the same wall. So we've got to... Oh, right, because we moved that wall. Okay. Oh, I accidentally removed that instead of copying it. Alright, let's go ahead and fix it. Okay. Because we gave the sitting room a little more space is what happened there. So we'll just grab these two. Although I bet we're going to want to... Okay. Alright, then... So one of the things in Newburger when we were working on it, if you remember, was that I wanted each room's floor to be separate from each other, right? Because I wanted to be able to change the flooring per room. Well, we don't have to do that in this house because each room is all going to have the same floor. Because it's all wood floors. So they can all just have the same floor. Turn this back on. Alright, and then... Cool. Doo-doo-doo. Alright, now, in this super cool picture of the entryway, they totally have, let me save this image real quick. Okay. It's doing that stupid, no, you can only save the web page of it, so we'll just do it this way. Snip tool, best tool. Okay, so the entryway picture, this super cool one right here. They've got a mannequin and a dress and then one of those little things, and yeah, it's so cool. Alright. Stairs are one of those other things that's a lot easier when you have artists. Because then you can just be like, they've got to go from here to here. Make it work. And the artist is like, cool. And does. Okay. That's not the right stairs at all. Let's see. These stairs were made to fit in a specific spot in a specific level. Not in this one. But, okay. Yeah, see how it's got like the, it's missing the faces on the backside. Hey RD, how's it going? Alright. I'm doing pretty good. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna do these stupid stairs without actually having stairs. That's not the right railing. What about you? Nope. Well, you're closer. Alright, well, let's go ahead and delete that joker. Let's see, where'd my picture of the stairs go? There we are. Those look pretty narrow. Those are pretty narrow stairs. We could probably stand to go down. Yeah. We'll find out in a minute if they're too narrow. Nope. Okay. We're building Lizzie Borden's house today. If you've heard that extremely gnarly tale. I feel like Lizzie Borden's one of those ones that kind of, like, everybody's heard of it because of the little, like, nursery rhyme. Okay, and then it would begin to curve, although we can't really do the curve. And keep going up. Okay. Alright, then we would go back to front right. Yep. Okay. Alright, so then we go like this. And we're gonna scale it way down. Okay. So we're pretty much just filling in each of the understair gaps here. In case you're wondering what I'm doing. Okay, let's go 1.6. As long as it ends in the wall, it's fine. Cool. Although this one doesn't quite. Oh, I see why. Okay, well, it's fine. Yeah, so I grabbed that dress form earlier. There it is. And I am absolutely going to put that over here. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this stupid thing put together. I say that. I actually like quite a bit that they didn't hook all these pieces in and they make you do it. Oh, the bowl is a little small. I wonder what that's about. There we go. Perspective. Okay. Go ahead and move my player start inside. Doop de doo. Look at that. Alright. Let's see, do we have lights? I am attempting to put this in a logical spot in the ceiling. There we go. Alright, let's... Yeah, just been streaming a little bit. Building Lizzie Borden's house. Alright. You look at my snip tools. So if we look, like the windows are pretty floor to ceiling. The ceilings only go up a couple of feet above the doors. It's funny because I'm looking for things that help me determine how tall the ceilings are. But people don't take photos of it in that angle because it's not an interesting angle unless you're trying to determine how tall those ceilings are. Boy, those windows are huge though. Boy, this front parlor. Unless there's one upstairs. Let me go back to the floor plan. So there's a sitting room, that's where the thing is. And there's the front parlor. This front parlor doesn't match at all. The way it looks now versus the way it did then. Yeah, see the piano should be over here. And they keep moving the chairs around. Look at that. That's so funny. But like, there should be a doorway here, and there isn't. We don't see it. This is why one of the super cool things. Oh, sorry. One of the super cool things would be able to go to these places and be able to actually take the pictures myself and be able to document it from the perspective of someone who's trying to build the location. Changes all the angles you would take things at, all that kind of stuff. There's the doorway. Yep. Okay. Yeah, alright. So... selecting all of the walls. Gap and otherwise. And then we're gonna go like this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that feels about right. Maybe one more? Short ceilings. Short ceilings. Okay. Then we're gonna grab all these weirdos. we gotta do the window ones separately. Nope, not at all what I meant to do. .7. Okay, let me grab this 2.75. Okay. Ooh. Sorry, my psoriasis in my ears bother me. Okay. Book. Yeah, it's gonna be too low. It's gonna be like all up in the player's business. Okay. That will not though. That'll be fine. Okay. Save all. Okay. Then I can change these to be plaster, because these are definitely plaster roofs. Ta-da! Okay. Look at that. We've got the first 2 rooms of Lizzie Borden's house built. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more to go. Oy. Alright. Although, actually what I should do, because we know the sitting room has 2 windows just like the parlor does. I should come out here. I love good boxy houses. move this wall to here. Do that. And then grab all of this. Okay. Sweet. Whoa. 6.2. 6.1. Alright. Grab those 2 floors. Did I accidentally grab the ones on top? I did grab the ones on top. 6.15. Okay. Alright, let me grab. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now, we're looking at the sitting room with the fireplace. This one. Yeah, it doesn't seem to go too far after that second window. Let's see if we have a fireplace. I know we do. I'm just curious if we have one that just looks right. that's gonna be our closest one we have. It's either that one or this one. And this one looks a little too fancy, so right. I think this sucker needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay. You know, I also think yeah, that looks more correct. See how close the windows are. There is enough room for a bookshelf there, though, so let's go ahead and scoot this guy over. Yeah, he is straight up on that doorway. Let's go ahead and grab this and this. Okay. Nice. Alright. Let's go find this couch. Gosh, who puts a couch along the wall that has doorways leading to it? Unbelievable. Oh, interesting. Look at this house. This is so weird. So both of these doors enter the sitting room. The sitting room is actually, so like the bifurcation of the house is not even down the center. It's actually like the whole couch width over to the side. So we want to grab this and this. Like that. Although with that doorway there, it's gonna have to be like that. Boy, what a bizarre place to put a couch. Just ruins the whole flow. Okay, but that's interesting because then this doorway is lined up with the other one. Like that. Which then means this guy goes there. Okay. Boy, what a weird house. But that does give us plenty of space to put that bookshelf over there. This one. It's actually pretty obvious in the images this was a built-in bookshelf, but we can get away with clipping it in as long as we clip the wall out behind it, and then that saves us the time of having to so if you look at it, it's a built-in bookshelf, right? But I don't want to have to build a whole bookshelf using static mesh or whatever. So what we'll do is we will instead jam it into the wall like this, and then we're going to make the wall clip around it just like we did the windows. And then it won't matter because it'll be hidden, the back of it will be hidden in the wall, and it'll look like it's built in. Okay. Alright. Now we have a dining room. It's got another sofa and the table. I'm gonna grab this table. I saw one earlier. That's not the right house because it's got a sideways fireplace, which her house does not. sure that's our best chair, but let's check. I could horrify people and use the IKEA one. That's the kind of thing, though, that would get people, like, writing angry letters in. There is a kitchen rocking chair, though. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Or near where it's gonna be. Okay. I'd be willing to bet they don't have that sofa there anymore, just for ease of function. Okay. Now, this wall has 2 windows, but they're really spread apart. So let's just grab this like this. Okay. Scale. Alright. Alright, so the dining room goes longer and then has a door. So let's go. How bad does that look? Oh, it doesn't. Whoops. Okay. Alright, so actually, this whole thing needs to be flipped around the other direction. Okay, which gives us our back wall. Okay. Perfect. And then we're gonna copy this wall. There we go. Alright. So I think I'm gonna save. My head is hurting like it's been about 2 hours. Oh, it has. 2.5 hours. Alright. So I think I'm gonna call it here for the day. Next week we will be building out the kitchen and this little thing, and then we'll be building out the upstairs, which will probably go pretty quickly because it's a bunch of bedrooms. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and yeah, see you next time.